there was one that is like this paper too, but it's okay. I'll take with this. There were questions that bordered on Payo Duko. You were asking about soil remediation and the integrated soil management center. This question can also answer the last question. This answer can also apply to the last question of Ganitoba. The integrated soil management center, it's the center that was intended to help as part of the process of remediation. But let me use this opportunity to explain our remediation action plan. The remediation action plan which we're implementing now is the one that in March this year, we went back to Geneva to the UNEP people who did this report. And I also want to assure Ganitoba that UNEP will be coming any moment from now to be part of the process. They have been monitoring what we are doing. They are observer on the governing council, and we go back from time to time to ensure that every action that we take in implementing this is consistent with their recommendation. So let me assure him and assure the Ogoni people that UNEP continues to play a very key role. Evident in this is a recent meeting that I had to go back to Geneva again to sit with them to discuss. And that is how we got the remediation action plan. The action plan says that this first phase of sites we are going to take out, we are taking out the less complicated ones first, so that will give us time to take more detailed look and investigate the more complex sites. So the first set of sites that we're taking out are not the ones that will require so much intensive thermal desorption facilities or equipment as was to be provided by the Integrated Soil Management Center. So the project we are going to do now, the site we are taking now will not need much of that which we were going to use the Integrated Soil Management Center for. So further question is about Kadilo Kabari. You spoke about training. Yes, we have done some training for the youth, and I understand the need to train more of our people. But the training will have to be done in segments. If you also look at the adverts, when we advertise for companies, the remediation companies, there was also a training component for the companies that we want to use. For those companies on their own, if we give you the job to carry on more large-scale training for the youth and the people they are going to utilize. So we'll have different level of training for the youth. We'll have the one that HYPREP in partnership with other competent people, especially UNEP. We couldn't go on to train people for the sake of training them. We train them to give them real capacity and the skill that they need to do the work. And that is where UNEP is coming in. We are still happy to work with other people, including the NDDC, to do further training on the large scale. But it's important that the technical manpower that we use, we need to do the work, that we have that in-house. Why is it important to have the technical manpower and the training? It's important because we have the advantage, the benefit of starting this project. And the manpower and the technical skills, we could be that project that supply expertise to the rest of the region if we capture this properly. And there are levels of training that could propagate other activities and other skills. If you train people from the bottom, then it probably ends there. If you train people at the top, then those people at the top will further train so many other people. I would like us to keep our eyes high up there so we can reap the benefits across board. We also look at, Ganitoba, you spoke about issues. Anything to do with account, before you came in here, we discussed the governing structure of HYPREP and how it is difficult for any one arm of the project to collect money without the other. If there are issues to do with the account, address it to the office, we'll channel it to the Board of Trustees, who will give you a detailed account of expenditures and money received by the project so far. If there are any questions that were asked here that have not responded, I would like to be reminded, but we're still open.
Yes. Any more questions? What was your question?
Further questions will be coming after now. So we take the next set of questions and I will still respond to it.
All right. Do we have more questions?
Dr. Peter Mede will like to talk about the escrow account and issues that borders on the money, just very quickly.
Thank you. Well, let me inform the question on the escrow account. Yes, the account we have with Standard Chartered Bank of England is an escrow account. But what we will not do is to go behind to do any discussion on how to do any kickback. We will not do that because that's a corporate account. If anybody has an individual escrow account, you can go behind to do any backyard or behind negotiation. But as a corporate account, we will not mangle with Ogoni money to go and discuss behind what will be either this or what will be either that. However, we are talking with the banks that are working with us to see how the local banks can open branches in Ogoni. We have proposed that any of the Nigerian banks must have branches in Ogoni so that hello, sir. When it comes to the issue of accrual interest on the account, all that is what necessitated the Board of Trustees to have fund managers. We have a fund management team that is managing the fund, and they will be able to know how much of interest will be accruing to the account, and they will be able to see how those interests will be properly managed. But I can assure you that any interest accruing to the money belonging to Ogoni, including the amount of the money, will not be diverted in any form. I can assure you that. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Listen to what I'm telling you. Please, excuse me, sir. I have told you that the board is getting fund managers that will manage the fund. That will manage the fund. The fund has just come in. We just received the fund this month. We just received the fund this month. We have just informed you. So, the fund, for now, will not be manipulated. That's the message. Whether the interest accruals and the capital amount will be given appropriate account as at when due. The other issue I wanted to also address is the issue of whether there is fund not being in the project account. Let me inform all of us that the way the Governing Council and the Board of Trustees and the Project Coordination Office is operating is clearly stated in the Gazette. The Project Coordination Office, with the approval of the Governing Council, will channel a budget to the board. Then the board will remit the fund they so required back to them. As we speak, the budget that was transmitted to the board, we have informed the board with the Governing Council and the PCO's office to do it quarterly so that we can do the funding as appropriate. The fund that is required for the project, once contractors are selected and the process is ready, all the money required to do mobilization and do payments will be transmitted to them. Then on the issue of the $10 million, I just want to say something, and it's very key. I just want to say something to our brothers and fathers here, and it's very key. Please, 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 the $10 million that we receive as a board, as and when we receive the money, the project